All right, we've got a lot of weather to talk about as storms, severe storms, heavy rain, a risk of some flooding as well return to Texas over the next few days. Hope you enjoyed the less active weather because that's going bye-bye. Let's talk about it in this Thursday morning edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Hi there, I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. It's Thursday, the 23rd of October, 2025. I just wanted to say a quick thank you for popping on in for some Texas weather information. We're going to have this video chaptered and bookmarked so y'all can scroll through to whatever you want to do without having to watch the entire video. But if you want to watch the whole video, hey, I'll try to throw in some Baldy and Chief entertainmentisms as well. And thank you, by the way, for hitting that like button and click and subscribe if you haven't already. That helps us with the magical land of algorithms. Now, I'm going to start off a little different today. I just want to start off by showing you what's going to be causing all this rain and storm activity the next few days. That little dip in the jet stream over Texas hanging into tonight, Friday, and Saturday. That'll be pretty slow moving as you take a look at the jet stream forecast from the European weather model over the next week. That little dip in the jet stream, that's going to be an upper level storm system that'll take about 2.5 days to move across the state, bringing areas of lift, a lot of moisture, and with that, all this thunderstorm activity. So that is why we're going to be dealing with the mischief we're going to have to deal with over the next few days. Now, let's start with the severe weather outlook for today and mostly tonight from the Storm Prediction Center. We have the possibility of scattered severe thunderstorms near a cool front that'll be located across the South Plains, West Texas, up into Northwest Texas, with the possibility of some isolated severe storms back into the Trans-Pecos, the Guadalupe Mountains, back into the Permian Basin and the borderland of far west Texas. We could also see some strong to severe storms as far north as I-40 up in the Texas Panhandle. This is going to mostly be a hail risk and a localized damaging wind risk with some stronger storms that could get going tonight. We could have hail, quarter to golf ball size, perhaps localized damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour. The tornado threat is very low, but it's not zero. I don't expect we're going to have many issues with tornado warnings this evening and tonight, but definitely won't rule them out. We'll go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's outlook. You can see we expect to be far busier tomorrow in terms of the simple geographical space covered. Storm Prediction Center highlighting the potential for isolated to scattered severe storms across the Texas Panhandle, West Texas, Northwest Texas, Texoma, North Texas, Central Texas, South Central Texas, the Northern Edwards Plateau, the entire Hill Country, the Big Country, the Concho Valley, the Permian Basin, into the Big Bend, the Trans-Pecos. The potential exists for the strongest storms to produce hail up to the size of golf balls, damaging wind gusts over 70 miles per hour, and a tornado or two is not out of the question. We're going to have storms fire up west parts of the risk area and then move east heading into tomorrow evening. We may end up with a couple rounds of storms as well. Well, I'll show you the high-res rapid refresh model here in just a second. You'll see we're going to have a lot of storms. So that's why we have such a large risk area. So here's the high-res rapid refresh model for today. A couple strong to maybe severe storms heading into this evening across West Texas, the Big Country near that stalled frontal boundary. Storm activity kind of continues into Northeast Texas, North Texas, down to the Concho Valley overnight. Then going into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and Saturday morning, you can see things just blow up. We're going to have numerous showers and storms as that upper level storm system really kicks into gear across the state. And with that, a lot of moisture in place, plenty of instability and lift. We're going to have a lot of storms. You can see this thing goes from semi-active to it's a Christmas tree effect. From really Del Rio to Abilene to Wichita Falls, all that activity moves east Friday night to Saturday morning across the eastern half of Texas with numerous showers and thunderstorms likely, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, and again, some of these storms will be strong to severe with localized damaging winds, hail, maybe a tornado or two. We're also going to have a lot of heavy rain out of this. Now, clearly it's been dry on a popcorn fart the last month to month and a half, but that still doesn't completely negate the threat of flooding heading into tomorrow night and Saturday morning, as we see this slow-moving round of very heavy thunderstorms move from west to east, and they're going to be dropping probably up to 2 to 3 inches of rain an hour in some spots, and some folks, you're probably going to get up to 5 inches of rain, maybe a little bit more than that by the time this is all said and done heading into Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. And for what it's worth, as I'll show you in the European model in a minute, the risk for storms continues into Sunday morning across the eastern third of Texas. Here's the flash flood outlook for tomorrow. The Weather Prediction Center highlighting the potential for scattered flash flooding from the Hill Country, the Concho Valley, the eastern Big Country, central Texas, North Texas, Texoma, Northwest Texas. And there may be a small corridor here that gets upgraded to a higher risk level. But at this point, again, we will be keeping an eye out for at least localized instances of flash flooding, especially if we end up with some folks getting 5 inches of rain in, say, a few hours, which may happen on a very localized basis. Going into Saturday and Saturday night, the risk for scattered instances of flash flooding will move into East Texas, the Toledo Bend Reservoir, the Piney Woods of East Texas, the Golden Triangle, the Brazos Valley, and Southeast Texas. And we'll be keeping an eye out for that area as well going into Saturday and Saturday night. Here's the European weather model. Again, you can see it has storms continuing across the eastern third of Texas until Sunday morning before activity quickly exits the state by the late morning, early afternoon, leading to a much less active period of weather going into Monday and Tuesday. We're going to have a pretty decent cold front come on into the state Tuesday, it looks like now, bringing gusty northwest winds and some drier air. So here's forecast rain totals now over the next 3 days. This is through 7 a.m. Sunday from the Weather Prediction Center. You can see these have come up a bit, especially across western parts of the state. This is looking like a good, widespread, beneficial rain event. We need the rain, and this is a good way to get it. We don't want instances of flooding, but again, hopefully we won't be dealing with any widespread issues with that. Nevertheless, we are looking at the potential of maybe 1/4 up to 1 inch of rain along and east of Interstate 27 slash 385 from Dumas to Amarillo, 287, down I-27 through Lubbock, 385 all the way south towards Midland, Fort Stockton, and Alpine. East of a line from Childress to Sweetwater to San Angelo to Del Rio, we could be looking at 1 to 3 inches of rain. And that's really along the north of Interstate 10, all the way out to San Antonio. So northwest Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley, 1 to 3 inches of rain possible with localized amounts that could be double that in some cases. Across parts of Texoma, North Texas, the Brazos Valley, Southeast Texas, and East Texas, we're looking at 3 to 5 inches of rain possible. 5 inches being the high end of things, 3 inches being probably about average. So a good gully washer for sure. And again, if we get that 3 to 5 inches of rain over, say, 12 hours, yeah, we're going to have some bar ditches that are full, but we're not going to be dealing with a lot of flash flooding. If we get that 3 to 5 inches in the span of 2 hours, well, we're going to have some flash flooding issues with high water on roads until that water can drain off and some quick rises on creeks and streams. Now, we're probably not going to be dealing with flooding of larger rivers or lakes at this point because they're all running below stream average because it's been so dry. So that's good news. Once the water is able to run off into the rivers and lakes like it's supposed to, we'll be in good shape. But we could be dealing with some street flooding, some high water and low-lying trouble spots, and until that drains off, we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Now, taking a look at the Caribbean real quick, we do have Tropical Storm Melissa, and the reason we're bringing this up is this thing's going to sit in the Caribbean for the next week. It is likely to become a very powerful hurricane heading into early next week, and it's going to be very near Jamaica, and it's just going to sit there. And this could become a very, very strong hurricane. So this could be a significant issue to Haiti and Jamaica. Plus, when you have a hurricane sitting for days on end, as we saw with Harvey, rainfall tends to be measured in feet or meters versus, well, centimeters and inches. So that's going to be a big story next week. unfortunately, down in the Caribbean. Temperatures over the next 5 days. Highs today, we're looking at 70s in the Panhandle and West Texas. Everyone else, it's in the 80s and 90s. Tomorrow, a little cooler across the northern two-thirds of Texas, mostly 70s with mid-80s possible, holding in the 90s across South Texas. Saturday, highs in the 60s in the Panhandle, maybe some upper 50s up near Perryton. We're looking at 70s, the northern half of Texas for high temperatures, 80s along Interstate 10 from roughly Fort Stockton through the Hill Country, San Antonio to Houston, and then we're still holding in the mid to upper 90s South Texas, 97 in McAllen, probably one of the hottest locations, if not the hottest, on Saturday in the United States. Sunday, quick warm-up back across the western half of Texas. Rain is gone, skies clear out. And then on Monday, we are awaiting our next cool front, Monday night to Tuesday, with highs in the 70s in the Panhandle, West Texas, Texoma, Northwest Texas, the Arklatex, and East Texas. 80s, Big Country, Concho Valley, Permian Basin, Hill Country, Central Texas, Southeast Texas. 90s in the Rio Grande Plains and Deep South Texas. 96 to 97 in both Laredo and McAllen. 81 out in El Paso. So that's going to be your Thursday morning update with the Texas Weather Roundup. Again, we are going to be keeping an eye out on storms heading into this evening, and then a whole lot of storms tomorrow and Saturday across the state, with the risk of both severe storms and heavy rain that could cause flooding, especially street flooding. So please be mindful of that. You can keep an eye on the sky with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app, where you can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radars, live severe weather coverage if needed, and more. Until our update later today, keep an eye on the sky, and we'll have frequent updates on the blog, website, and social media channels. Y'all have a good Thursday. We'll talk to you later today. God bless.